all Aspen University students are required to abide by Aspen University's academic integrity policy as outlined in the university catalog. The academic integrity policy is built upon the concepts of honesty, truth, fairness, respect, and responsibility. By taking this exam, I agree to abide by both the academic integrity policy and the rules outlined on this exam. With this recording, I am attesting that I have personally completed the comprehensive exam and that the information I submit is true and accurate to the best of my knowledge. Here is my... Thank you for joining me today during this presentation addressing action research, specifically examining school leadership practices that promote school-wide executive functioning development. My name is JHutzel. I'm a student at Aspen University in class RSH916, Problem-Based Research and Action with Professor Gaddis. This final assignment proposal is due on September 22nd, 2025. Before we begin, we will review the content within this research proposal, which can be viewed on the following slide. The action research proposal is guided by several different sections, which will break down further throughout this presentation. At the start of this presentation, I identified myself through Aspen University's academic integrity policy. Within the second slide, the title slide, I also acknowledged the class title, professor, final assignment due date, and the main research inquiry of examining school leadership practices that promote executive functioning skill development for both educators and student achievement. The following slide will go in depth about the introduction statement, which also includes the identified problem, research question, intervention, and methods. The literature will be reviewed on slides 5 and 6, with several embedded citations supporting this topic of research. Slides 7 and 8 will review the methods section, including the think, look, and act cycle and data analyzed. Slide 9 and 10 will review the results, along with slide 11, which will provide an arching overview of the conclusion. The references cited throughout this presentation will be presented on slides 12 and 13. Let's begin. Stringer and Aragon 2020 define action research as a comprehensive, iterative, and adaptive process that is designed to lead stakeholders in identifying a systematic problem and ultimately resolving it through a think, look, act framework. This cycle model will guide researchers in finding solutions to proactively implement change while also gaining effective outcomes for future infrastructure policies. Carl Pribram coined the term executive functioning in 1973, recognizing that the mind has the capability of managing cognitive processes through skills such as organization, time management, planning, working memory, self-awareness, emotional regulation, etc. Barkley, 2012. In educational leadership, these skills are essential for guiding curriculum, instruction, and professional development, although many leaders underestimate this critical role of executive functioning. Even with developing research on executive functioning and its impact on student success, school leadership teams often lack strategies to embed these skills into instructional and school-wide practices. Executive functioning is a critical factor in both classroom effectiveness and overall academic achievement. This AR proposal seeks how leadership practices, including professional development, modeling, and structured routines, influence the development of executive functioning skills among educators and students. In addition, the proposed intervention focuses on teaching school leadership teams executive functioning strategies to embed within classrooms and school-wide practices. Implementation methods would include professional development on executive functioning, modeling skills such as organization and emotional regulation, accountability through self-awareness, and aligning school policies within these practices. The intervention will be guided by Stringer and Aragon's 2020 action research model, utilizing the look, think, act cycle to structure implementation and evaluation. Meltzer 2018 explains that the concepts of executive also encompass several subcomponents or skills, including working memory, task initiation, self-awareness, emotional regulation, time and task management, organization, and planning. Best ETAL 2018 highlights academic success, including social, emotional, adaptive, and behavioral functioning, is highly supported through executive functioning development and practice. However, Diamond 2013 also recognizes deficits with executive functioning development can significantly impact implementation of instruction by educators, which can ultimately influence student learning, including academic difficulties, social emotional concerns, behavioral difficulties, and delays with adaptive functioning. Shaping school culture should involve leadership modeling, executive functioning strategies, building systems that hold staff and students accountable, and maintaining ongoing professional development opportunities to ensure educators are implementing these important skills for students. That's Leithwood, ETAL 2020, Hallinger and Heck 2010. Post the COVID-19 pandemic, the shift to virtual learning was not only a challenging shift in daily routines, but it challenged the executive functioning methods of both educators and students. During this style of virtual learning, executive functioning skill development is imperative to independently manage tasks, take initiative with assignments, integrate time intervals, for example, time management, and improve focus and reduce environmental distractions. Bond and Bedler, 2019, Hodges ETL 2020. Furthermore, recent literature confirms that instilling executive functioning methods at the school-wide level to strengthen educator and student professional development and achievement outcomes in both in-person and virtual settings. Safer Liechtenstein, ETAL 2014. Existing research claims that social, emotional, behavior, and cognitive development directly aligns with social student engagement and executive functioning development. Fredericks, ETAL 2004. Leadership methods, specifically those that are modeled directly in the classroom, encourage teacher collaboration and stakeholder feedback, reinforce both student participation and skill development with executive functioning strategies. That Stringer and Aragon 2020 and Mertler 2021 highlights how the AR framework through the look, think, and act cycle also supports a collaborative process between stakeholders when modifying and enhancing interventions, along with addressing systematic or school-wide issues. Existing literature also supports executive functioning and leadership practices, improving educator professional development and student achievement. However, current data is limited in analyzing how sustainable leadership practices are implemented at a systems level as opposed to the classroom level. The methods section describes actions taken to investigate the research problem and the rationale for the application of specific procedures or techniques used to identify, select, process, and analyze information applied to understanding the problem, thereby allowing the reader to critically evaluate a study's overall validity and reliability. The methodology section of a research paper answers two main questions. How was the data collected and generated, and how was it analyzed? USC Libraries, 2014, paragraph 1. The methodology applied within this research proposal is a framework designed by Stringer and Aragon's 2020, also encompassing a think, look, act cyclical approach. The iterative design fosters reflective, flexible, and ongoing methods for improvement modification for leadership methods relating to executive functioning skill development. McCombs 2023 defines a sample as a group of individuals who voluntarily participate in the research process, while Hendricks 2024 explains that stakeholders are individuals or groups with an interest in a business or project's outcomes, such as employees, customers, investors, and community members. This AR process will focus on one school and its surrounding community, engaging a diverse group of stakeholders, including administrators, clinicians, educators, support staff, students, and parents. Community members, such as transportation staff, local organizations, and PTA participants may also contribute voluntarily to ensure a holistic perspective on research outcomes. Research procedures will capture the look phase, which includes observation and inquiry, the think phase, including reflection and analysis, and act phase, including interventions and evaluation. Having multiple data sources will satisfy triangulation and research validity. The data within this research will include both qualitative, non-numerical data and quantitative numerical research, BISH 2024. Therefore, the study will be a mixed method research design. The data sources that will be included in research proposal include teacher and student surveys, observational notes guided by rubric, engagement and assignment tracking logs, and reflective meeting minute notes or discussion transcripts for insight about obstacles and successes. The data collection process guides in a systematic framework that ensures reliability and replicability of resources. Cresswell and Gutterman 2019 and Mertler 2021 also recognize the collection procedures to follow are aligned with AR best practices, capturing both qualitative and quantitative methods to promote educational change. Collection procedures can be through electronic surveys, structured observations, gathering logs for engagement and assignment completion, and facilitation collaboration sessions, while documenting meeting minutes and transcripts for interpretation. The design interventions will target leadership practices, the independent variable, to enhance executive functioning skills of both educator and students, which is the dependent variable. Interventions will include professional development opportunities, inserting taught executive functioning skills into school-wide practices, modeling executive functioning methods across educational settings, and embedding methods into instructional implementation, all developed to be adaptable, equitable, and sustainable within school-wide culture. The results from educator surveys revealed a positive change from leadership modeling practices of executive functioning during professional development and within classrooms. The shift went from less than half of educators recognizing executive functioning strategies modeled by leadership to post-intervention, more than half of educators recognizing these methods being implemented with consistency. Reflection dialogue also revealed educator appreciation for consistent modeling during PD sessions and within the classroom, structured agendas for meeting purpose, time and task management resources, and reflection tools that align with student resources. Student survey outcomes also revealed some similar trends, which ultimately lead to improvement with task and time management confidence levels and active participation with visual representation and goal setting supports. Observational data also revealed clear improvements to leadership methods of executive functioning. Data revealed that leaders consistently displayed modeling strategies, including goal setting, structured agenda for collaborative meetings, and active demonstrations displayed during PD opportunities and within the classroom. Observation rubrics also revealed positive pre to post intervention responses with increased development in leadership executive functioning modeling. Quantitative data revealed an increase in student assignment completion and engagement tracking logs. Attendance did improve modestly, but not at a significant rate. Although these improvements cannot be contributed directly from leadership methods of implementation, the relationship between leadership practices and executive functioning strategies displayed in the classroom does suggest positive progress. There were three major themes that derived from the qualitative analysis of the reflection sessions, including consistency and modeling matter, professional development as a driving force for change, and obstacles for sustainability. The results reveal that leadership models of executive functioning does successfully promote executive functioning development among students. Educators reported higher levels of student confidence, and students revealed improvements to instructional norms, self-awareness, and regulation. Thus, the intervention supports that leadership practices do positively impact executive functioning skill development for both educators and students. Results also displayed a positive link between leadership executive functioning practices and achievement. Stakeholders agreed to recommend a second action research cycle. This additional cycle can expand parent, community members, digital tools, and leadership methods into a broader scope to reinforce executive functioning skill development across the different settings. Overall results align with researchers confirming that leadership practices of executive functioning enhance overall executive functioning development and achievement for both educators and students. Meltzer 2018, Leithwood ETAL 2020, Fredericks ETAL 2004. School-wide executive functioning practices embedded into leadership routines display positive measurable outcomes. Even the smaller changes with meeting agendas, reflection tools, and professional development opportunities resulted in improvements. Research supports leadership initiatives that enhance resiliency across differentiated contexts, especially in virtual learning platforms. Bond, Embed, and Learn, 2019, Hodges ETAL 2020. Future action research cycles and additional research should explore consistent sustainability measures, including further parent community and digital executive functioning resource supports. Stringer and Aragon 2020 highlight the importance of stakeholder engagement and collaboration through the Think, Look, Act cyclical framework. This process supports contextual significance, mutual ownership, and sustainable efforts towards improvements. Thank you for taking the time today to learn about this action research proposal, specifically in the context of understanding how to improve leadership practices through executive functioning development. These last two slides are dedicated to the references cited throughout this presentation. If you have any additional questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me directly at JHutzel@yahoo.com. I appreciate your time today. Have a great day. Thank you.